episode starts at a bar. A girl nervously orders a drink then walks off. She then runs into a handsome guy. We find out that he was her internet date and she was nervous that he had stood her up. During the date, the girl pricks her finger and he takes off at the sight of her blood. Eventually, he meets her again and the dialogue gets very Twilight-like, which of course is on purpose, considering the name of the episode, on top of the fact that the girl here is obviously named after Kristen Stewart and the vampire after Robert Pattinson. Anyway, Robert shows Kristen his fangs and she is all in. He takes her to some back alley where he and another vampire bite Kristen. After Dean has a 4D conversation with Lisa, Sam shows up and lets him know about the cases of girls going missing. They go to the house of one of the girls where the father lets them into her room where they see her obsession with romance novel vampires. Sam finds the girl's laptop and after figuring out the password is Pattinson, they see that she was in a chat room being seduced by what they believe is a guy pretending to be a vampire to lure in naive teenage girls at best, or real vampires using the media to make feeding easier at worst. Somewhere else in town, we see a bloodmobile get robbed. Once Sam is made aware of the blood van heist, he doesn't understand why the vampires would need it if they're kidnapping girls. The guys head to the bar that Kristen was at where they stake out the scene. Get it? Stake? Anyway, they see two guys that they feel are suspect and follow them. One almost gets the jump on Sam, but he beheads him. The other takes off with a girl, but ends up being a fake when Dean confronts him. As he goes to walk away, the hairy vampire from the first scene confronts and attacks Dean, then feeds him his vampire blood. Sam purposely waits until after Dean is fed the blood to then chase off the vampire. Dean struggles as he begins to turn as his hearing becomes super sensitive. He asks Sam to kill him, but he won't do it. He then sees his fangs begin to come in while he's in the bathroom mirror, turns on some water, and sneaks out. He heads to Lisa's to say goodbye, but as she tries to get him to tell her what's going on, he begins to fang out, so he leaves, pushing Lisa's son out of the way in the process. He then heads back to Sam, who is now with their father Samuel, and again asks them to slay him. Samuel tells the boys that there is a way to turn him back. He shows them a journal, which explains the concoction that turns vampires back as long as they haven't drank blood, but of course, there is a catch, and the ingredients include the blood of the vampire that turned him. Dean says he'll do it himself, so Samuel gives him a syringe of dead man's blood, which will temporarily knock out the vampire. After Dean leaves, Samuel confronts Sam that he knew about the cure and let Dean get bitten on purpose. Dean heads to the vampire's hideout where he's met and welcomed by Robert. Robert walks him to a fridge full of blood. When Dean tells Robert that he killed people on the way so he doesn't need the blood, he's told that they aren't allowed to kill as vampires anymore, and he will be a recruiter. We then find out that this is basically a scam call center type deal with the goal of making an army of vampires who look like models based around the popularity of teen vampire romance novels using teen chat rooms. The vampire in charge turns a bunch of attractive teen boys who then are sent to turn cute teenage girls after they're lured to places via scam chat conversations, and the cycle repeats. When the vamp in charge goes to give Dean the tour, Dean goes to inject the vampire with the dead man's blood, but the vampire catches him after hearing the blood hit the ground. Before the vampire can kill Dean, some whispering is heard from overhead, and all the vampires, including Dean, pass out. After a super trippy dream, including girls who look like the twins from The Shining but as vampires, Dean wakes up to the vampire that turned him, letting the girls, who we were told earlier are still feral, out of their cage. He sicks them on Dean, who makes short work of all of them. When Sam and their dad arrive at the lair, they're also met with vampire resistance, which also doesn't go well for the vampires. That eventually leaves just Dean and the vampire that turned him. By the time Sam and Samuel arrive, Dean had already killed him. Samuel makes the cure, and Dean drinks it. He starts puking black stuff while having flashbacks and wakes up a human again. When Dean wakes up, Sam asks Dean what he saw in the nest. Dean tells them about the vampire recruitment drive and that they don't fear the hunters anymore. The episode ends with Dean not being able to get in contact with Lisa and an awkward conversation about how at least he can always count on Sam.
Thanks for watching. If you like these recaps, please leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to know every time I update. There is now an option to be a channel member where you'll get access to exclusive recaps from late-night vampire catalogs like Showtime, Cinemax After Dark, USA Up All Night, and much more. If you want to help my channel grow, please check out my Patreon, where members can get exclusive content that can't be uploaded on YouTube, along with download options. Link is in the description.